be sure that we can reach everyone out there in the community the fastest way possible. You're right, writing a check could have been done. They could have mailed in their applications. They could have sent us the paperwork. We needed to come up with a web application that met this new business model that we were developing. To be able to get the information from the applicants at their homes, at their residence, business, whatever the case is, whatever they're applying, and take into consideration that New Mexico is a large rural state. I think we're the 5th largest in the country. We don't have a lot of the infrastructure in place to deal with high-speed internet. One of the things that we transitioned from, we had people go to work from home, was adapting to the various networks that we had to deal with, just to deal with the regulatory side of what we were doing, much less take on this whole new development aspect that we had no idea. So it had to meet the needs of the community, had to meet the needs of the infrastructure we had in place, and had to provide for the fastest possible processing for applications out there.
The way we ensured our end users got the best experience they possibly could is we really had to shift our mindset to think about what the end user wanted first. And oftentimes in any business, but in government, in my experience, we get a little stuck in, well, we've always done it this way. This is how I'm comfortable doing it. Or we get stuck in, this is what the regulations say. And we only think in that regulation box, right? And so if we really shift our mindset and shifting our culture to what does the constituent want? What does the customer want? Are we always thinking about them?
One of the things that we learned in New Mexico during the pandemic is, we didn't have a lot of the resources to get this stuff done. We had limited budgets to try and get this stuff done. What we did in looking at the planning and the technology and how we were going to implement all this stuff, you're right, Cassie, the thing that never left thought was people. How is this going to impact my neighbor next door? How is this going to impact the oil and gas guys down in southern New Mexico, the ranching community in northern New Mexico, the business people in Albuquerque, the largest metropolitan in our state? How are we going to make all of this work? The planning, the change, the society dictates it, but you can't lose sight of the people in the process.
Yeah, we did a lot of the same things, actually. When I talk to my local government, part of the reason my job even exists is because we're talking about cybersecurity mostly. That's what I'm focusing on right now. And sending out my security analysts to go talk to a local government or having them pick up the phone and talk to there's not a lot of connection that can be made. Like, my security analysts are fantastic. I am glad they're monitoring my systems 24/7. Not the person I'm going to have call county supervisor in Iowa, who's probably a part-time farmer who maybe doesn't even have internet at his house or operates off a flip phone, right? So, so thinking about that, right? My agency thought about, like, what's the role that we need to go out there and make a connection with these people? Because a lot of times they might be resistant to the change, but change is so personal. And so if you can make that personal connection with somebody, and it doesn't have to be like personal in their daily business, but just if you can make a connection with them and understand where they're coming from, understand their background, be empathetic to their situation. Like I said, a farmer with a flip phone in Iowa is not going to fill out a digital application, but he's probably going to go to a CPA, and his CPA is probably going to be like, cool, let's pull this up online and I'll do this for you. So, thinking about those different scenarios and really meeting those constituents where they are, really thinking about how we can make a connection with them and be empathetic to where they're coming from. Similar to New Mexico, we have a couple of big metropolitan areas, but most of our state is very rural. So just really thinking about that.